Hello, how's it going everyone? So in this video, we're gonna be covering the long-awaited question that I've been getting a lot, which is how do audiences now work inside of Meta in the new Andromeda update? Now, before I go more into this, I wanna give a little background on it. If you have not, you can watch my previous video that explains the Andromeda update. But in short, it's a change to the algorithm and it's affecting accounts that are on Advantage Plus. Now, right now, you can still swap in some accounts away from Advantage Plus. However, the default moving forward is going to be Advantage Plus campaigns. Now, as of recording, it is July 16th, and they said that they were going to force it across the board to everyone on, I believe it was June 24th. I could be wrong on that, but it was supposed to be in late June, and they've not done that. So I don't know when this is going to be forced out to every single account. They keep pushing back the time, so I'm just going to give you guys this info because you're getting all this extra time to better understand this, because it's going to, essentially make or break your account. So it's extremely important. I also shot another video on the Facebook action funnel, which is sort of, one of the main strategies that we use to leverage this new system. But anyways, let's jump right into it. So previously, when people were running accounts, the original builds were having separate audiences inside of them, and those different audiences would allow you to build the funnel, right? So if someone views an ad or visits the website, then you push them to the next campaign, which is a remarketing campaign, and then you have people that have already purchased from you, you push them even further down the funnel, kind of thing. And it was all based on different audience settings that were in the account, and so you can sort of build a funnel based around that. And now obviously you can't do that due to this new structure that we got from the Meta Disruptor team in the US. So what is happening now is, in order to share users, you need different events. So if you have one ad set, and this could be the same ad set, the same structure and build, and it will in one campaign, and it will still segment out users if you do it the wrong way. So anyways, in this scenario, this is how you share users across, so it affects it like the old way. So you have one ad set here with the same creative and then a different event. So we'll just say this is a purchase event, and then this is also a different event. So we'll just say this is a view content event. And so if we have one ad set over here, one ad set over here, same campaigns or different campaigns, I would recommend different campaigns for segmentation, especially with Advantage Plus. But anyways, this ad set with the same creative as this ad set, but a different event, will share users. And so what this means is that people can flow from this ad set over here into this ad set over here. If they are in a scenario like this, where they have one ad set that's going for the same creative as this other ad set, and they're also targeting the same event. So if these are both, let's say, purchase events with the same creative, even if you have different audience targeting settings, it's not going to share users. You're going to run into the issue of pretty much fragmenting all of your different users within one ad set. And so what we're doing now is trying to have as much creative as possible in an ad set, just because we know that that's going to build and act more so like its own funnel versus being shared like it was previously. So covering that one more time, this ad set does not share to this other ad set if they have the same creative and they have the same event. So two purchase events with two different ad sets with two different audiences, they're not going to share. It's impossible to do, even if you were to do the workaround, like I was talking about in a previous video as well too, that you can say, hey, I have, I only want to go after these demos. It's still going to go beyond that if you were to get it to allow you to open up and do the original settings like some people have kind of hacked and done. We've not seen that be the case. In order to share audiences, it doesn't work. So the ad sets will still dedupe them. It will not carry it over. Now, the other scenario here, which will also share users, is one ad set to another for a different creative, same event, different creative, same event. Now, this is a little bit more complicated. That's why I have this one last, because since creative is doing a lot of the targeting, if you have a lot of, let's say, top of funnel creative on this ad set over here, and a lot of bottom of funnel creative on this ad set over here, highly recommend that, number one, these are separate campaigns. So from now on, we only do one ad set per one campaign. But the issue is that you might have poor results on this campaign and way better results on this campaign. But the issue is that you don't really know which creative is driving those results, because they're going to bounce back and forth between the top of funnel creative and the bottom of funnel creative from an attribution standpoint. So it's extremely hard to pretty much segment this out properly. And so what we like to do in order to make this more efficient is we like to have creative themes and we try to stick to those themes within the ad set so we can better understand what the funnel build is happening, right? So an example of this would be, if you have in one ad set a founder's video, and that video is of the founder sort of giving you a walkthrough and sort of giving you more like the background of the business and going more on the business, I guess, experience side of it. We would have that theme continued in this ad set over here. Assuming that you've maxed out 50 creatives, and now we're starting to try different, creative and push to like separate funnels. Now on this one over here, let's say that instead of having that founder's video where it's gearing towards, someone that's more, trying to understand the business, but it's more like the emotional side, like why they started the business, what got them into it, where are they at now. And so it adds more of a human element to it. That's going to speak to a different user. And so we want to try to continue that same journey in this other ad set over here. Now this is, we're talking like this is the edge of the edge when it comes to, what we're learning, what we're testing, because this stuff is, under 3 months old per se, because Andromeda wasn't really fully pushed out. They said it was announced, in the end of 2024, but we started seeing actual changes in the algorithm around January, February. So this is like, the edge of the edge of what we're doing. And so this will probably change. It might not, but we're seeing really good results with it. So we're going to probably improve on it when it comes to that. But this is sort of the general way that we're doing things now. One thing that is also beneficial, and I'll just say this for the majority of people, is that you don't even need to go beyond and have these separate ad sets. Like we have accounts that are in the 6 going to 7 and 8 figure range that are running that action funnel I was talking about, the way that we structured it, and they're only running per action 50 ads instead of one ad set. So it's like I said, more about the creative messaging, and so it'll be more theme based, and we're categorizing the funnels based off of like a founder's video, which is more top of funnel, versus a UGC video that's maybe more middle of funnel, and then a a DPA ad that's more bottom of funnel. And so that will act more like building the funnel based on the categories versus like the ICP. So this is kind of the next step beyond that, is building out the different ICP funnels once you've maxed out your 50 creatives and you're starting to hit a wall. But we're not in this scenario as often because we're finding that even just doing CAPI imports, which will be in the next video that I'll be releasing out here, is geared towards, sort of how to take an account from 0 to 100. And you can get there with just using, like I said, one ad set with 50 creatives. It's insane. So we have another channel on YouTube as well called CProGrowth. That'll be in the description as well. And this is a video that is showing evidence of everything I'm saying. So I'm trying to give you guys sort of the general overview of it so it's easier to understand, because when we go into the specifics, things get more complicated and we tend to go more nerd talk. And so I want to make sure that you guys can see a super simple visual representation of this, because that's what matters. Simplicity is very important. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, and thanks again for watching.